funny about this is that you weren't at San Diego, were you?
No.
Right. So you were at San Diego
Yes.
for Comic-Con, and now you're here in Brazil for CCXP. When you were making the movie, was it in the contract that said I need to go to places where I will be talking in front of like 5,000 people at a time?
Only the bit that I wrote in lipstick afterwards, hoping that no one would notice. It's kind of been really like crayon type after print. And no one noticed. We still got to go here.
Well, being actually serious, do you enjoy getting in front of a crowd of like 3,000 or 7,000 people and feeding off that energy? Or is it a little bit nervous to actually stand in front of so many people like that?
I don't think I come from theater. Have you done theater before? Yeah, so it's like pretty commonplace in this field to be in front of large groups of people. So I don't necessarily get nervous. I feel like I'm less nervous when I am being myself in front of a large group of people rather than like doing lines that someone else has given me.
Oh, I got the complete opposite.
Really?
Like, I'm far less nervous the second there's a script involved, because then I know what I'm meant to do and I know like what you're meant to be communicating with the audience. Like, there's rules to the game.
Right.
Like, when it's being me, and particularly like us being us, like it's just a chaos field, and the chaos field makes me very nervous.
So I've seen obviously the trailer, and I'm so looking forward to this movie because it looks so fun, but mostly because John and Jonathan are involved. They're both such talented filmmakers, and I wanted to know if you could talk a little bit about collaborating with them, because I really do love their work.
I love them so much. Game night is incredible. It's like that conceit is so hard to do, and I feel like they did it so well, and they carried that talent over to this movie. Because when I read the script, I didn't really know much about Dungeons and Dragons. I'd always wanted to play, but they managed to make a film that didn't take itself too seriously, but still had weight and wasn't cynical. I think the word that they used last night at dinner was, they were like, the movie's not cynical, like it actually is earnest, you know? And I think...
Yeah. What's super rare about them is that they are super smart. They are incredibly funny. They have a huge amount of love for the world, and yet they're not afraid of earnestness. And being able to be funny without having some kind of victim butt of the joke, being able to be funny while still being earnest, while still caring about the world, caring about the characters, caring about that in a very straightforward way, is a skill that not a lot of writers or filmmakers have. And I think that we're all super lucky to kind of be in those hands in that respect.
I've heard there's multiple dragons in the movie, and I've heard. So what is it like fighting? Because I'm assuming that you do fight a dragon. What is it like actually fighting a dragon? Because to me, that's like the 5-year-old dream come true.
What is it like fighting a dragon? Well, okay, I'm trying not to like give anything away.
Flappy things, lizardy, but in the air. Dragon.
No, I know what a dragon is.
So you're not giving it away.
I'm trying not to give away like who fights dragons, when dragons are being fought, if dragons are fought.
Well, I mean, I think we got at least one in the trailer.
Yeah,
if I'm right. Is that our large red friend?
Yes.
I think so.
Better
yes.
be, otherwise that was awful. It's so subtle, Regé. Fighting dragons is fun, is the bottom line of that one. It genuinely is, in my experience, because I think that's in the trailer, fighting dragons is literally that 10-year-old dream where you're swinging a sword around and like it's this huge creature that's half in your imagination, and kind of half in the world, because also we had this really cool mix between green screen elements and cool practical elements and like bits of puppetry, kind of like Jim Henson-esque. Like half the time the creatures in front of you are giving scarily good performances. Like the way that actors get competitive, I got competitive with the puppets. So I was like, nah, you're not going to act out this. That's not happening. But it's a lot easier than you'd think, and at least twice as much fun.
Last question for you guys. Which shot in the movie ended up being the toughest to pull off, and why?
You tried to teach me some of your spells. I found that.
Oh, yes. I do a lot of spell casting in the film, and I worked with this lovely choreographer to create unique gestures for each spell. And I know a bit of sign language, so I try to incorporate that in it. Like whatever the spell does, I try to incorporate the word and sign language into the gesture of the spell. Not for every gesture.
Take that, Doctor Strange.
But
Like, he's actually spelling words.
I hate when movies, when they have magic powers and they just go like this. I was like, I want everything to be unique and creative. So that, remembering like which, like the spoken word of the spell goes with which gesture and at what time, and then there's a whole sequence. Well, I don't want to spoil it away. Okay, I won't do that. I won't say that.
Yes, I don't.
Okay. Yeah, but that was pretty. I guess it wasn't difficult. That was just fun. But I think Regé found it difficult to learn that.
No, I mean, I was impressed with the choreography of it.
Nice.
I mean,
and
this
you
was
just get that one.
the Actors Studio with Justice Smith, by the way, like
Hell
fantasy
yeah.
Actors Studio. Like everything needs to mean something, and there's a depth to all the magical spells.
Hell yeah.
Beautiful. The most difficult shot to pull off is pretty much any of them where the whole group is together. Keeping a straight face is very, very difficult with this gang. But hopefully that translates to people watching us, because it is very funny. It was very funny and was distractingly funny on set. So hopefully, as long as we kind of get through, I think the cut points are normally when one of us cracks up. And they're like, well, this shot is now useless. We have to cut away.
Yeah.
I have to go. On that note, I'm just going to say, enjoy CCXP. You're going to have a fucking blast.